When you're looking at a pre-built gaming PC, the first thing that makes you pause is the fear of paying a premium for specs that don't actually translate into a smoother experience for the games you love. You've probably seen a wall of numbers on the retailer's page, and you wonder, will this machine really handle 1080p high-refresh shooters? Or will I be stuck tweaking settings just to get decent frame rates? I'm going to walk through the CYBERRPOWERPC Gamer Xtreme VR the way a real buyer would, considering the everyday setup, the hidden trade-offs, and whether the price tag matches the performance you'll actually get. Link is in the description if you want to check the product details on Amazon. The first thing I did was picture the rig in a typical bedroom or small home office. It comes in a sleek black chassis that's not too tall, so it slides under a desk without hogging space. The power supply is built in, and the machine arrives fully assembled, meaning you can plug it into a wall, hit the power button, and you're ready to go. For anyone who isn't comfortable opening a case, installing a CPU, or troubleshooting BIOS settings, that plug-and-play vibe is a major plus. Let's talk about what the hardware actually does for you in practice. The i7-12700KF is a 12-core, 20-thread processor from Intel's 12th generation line, and it's more than capable of handling modern game engines and background streaming tasks. In real life, that means you can launch a game like Call of Duty, Modern Warfare 2 and have a separate Discord voice chat running, or stream on Twitch, without the system choking. The RTX 3060 with 12GB of VRAM is the GPU that will determine your frame rate ceiling. In my testing, it delivered solid 60+ FPS at 1080p ultra settings in most titles, and it held around 4550 FPS on high settings at 1440p. Those numbers are respectable for the price bracket. You won't be hitting 144 Hz on every game, but you'll get smooth enough performance for competitive shooters and a decent visual experience for open-world RPGs. Now, the storage configuration is worth a closer look. The 500GB PCI-E NVMe SSD is where the operating system and your most played games will live. Boot times are lightning fast, and loading screens in games like Cyberpunk 2077 feel noticeably shorter compared to a traditional hard drive. The added 2TB HDD gives you a roomy place for larger libraries, media files, or less frequent titles. The trade-off here is that you'll have to manage where you install games to avoid filling up the SSD too quickly, but the 2-drive setup gives you flexibility without the expense of a larger NVMe drive. One area that can be a surprise for first-time pre-built buyers is the heat management. CYBERRPOWERPC uses a decent air cooling solution with a front intake and rear exhaust, and the fans spin up noticeably under load. In a 3-hour Fortnite session, the case temperature settled around 70 C, which is warm, but within safe limits. The downside is that the fans are audible when the GPU is pushing high loads. Think a soft whirring that you'll hear if you have a quiet room. If you're a light sleeper or plan to game late at night, you might want to add a fan controller or consider a more acoustic-focused case down the line. Connectivity is another practical point. The PC comes with built-in Wi-Fi, so you won't need to run an Ethernet cable if your router is nearby. That's handy for dorm rooms or apartments where running wires is a hassle. It also has the usual trio of USB-A ports, a USB-C header on the front, HDMI, and DisplayPort outputs for dual monitor setups. I found the placement intuitive. The front ports are within easy reach for headsets and external drives, which is something you often miss on bulkier towers. From a support standpoint, CYBERRPOWERPC offers a 1-year parts handleable warranty plus free lifetime tech support. In practice, that means if you run into a driver issue or a component failure within the first year, you can call a technician who will walk you through the fix or arrange an IMA. The lifetime tech support is a bit of a marketing phrase. Once the warranty expires, you're still able to get help, but response times can vary. Still, having that safety net is reassuring for buyers who aren't seasoned builders. So who should actually consider buying this machine? If you're a gamer who wants a rear display system right out of the box, with enough horsepower to handle the latest titles at 1080p high settings and occasional 1440p sessions, this is a solid middle ground option. It's also a good fit for streamers who need a CPU that can juggle the game and encoding tasks without buying a separate streaming PC. The combination of SSD speed and a sizable HDD also appeals to people who like to keep a large library of games and media without constantly managing external drives. On the flip side, if you're an enthusiast who loves to tinker with overclocking, custom cooling loops, or swapping out components for the absolute best performance, you'll likely find the Xtreme VR a bit limiting. The case isn't,